Origin Chess, UX, and this is why retire a 2-year-old warship. Well, tell me now what you think. Yeah, this is about the littoral combat ship LCS. I watched a video on that very recently from I think military channel or something like that, or military news channel, something like that. Yeah, but this from the know what you think. Know what you think is insanely good when covering things like this. So yeah, LCS has its own problems, right? To me, it feels like a very specific thing, a specific tool that it's like okay, it works, but I guess they're trying in a different way or something. Someone told me in the comments like there's another ship that is replacing it. Let's hope know what you think talks about that or something. So yeah, let's hope this one. Remember, flag my don't forget to subscribe. So I know we start videos today tomorrow. Check out the Sunday. There's a link. Other know what you think reactions. If you haven't seen them, check the end card or link in the decision. Yeah, let's watch this one.
More than $500,000 is what it costs to own and operate this ship per day. That's what you get for decommissioning a 2-year-old warship that costs over $360 million just to build, let alone operational costs. But not only the US Navy is decommissioning this ship, all active sister ships in her class will be gone as well. And to make matters more confusing, 6 brand new ships of the same class are going to be built. But the reason for disposing of 9 modern warships, only to build 6 more of them, is not what you think. In the late 1990s,
I knew it. He's going to talk about the newer one. It was something about Starfield type of Constellation, right? Yeah. Somehow I just remember that like something Starfield or Constellation. There you go. That's what the ship's name, right?
90s, the US Navy had planned to retire all of its remaining guided missile frigates and patrol coastal ships without any replacement on the horizon. This would have left only 26 dedicated mine warfare vessels, 40% of which were not in their best shape. With the impeding block retirement of over 50 destroyers and frigates, in 2001, the Navy announced it would build a fleet of small, fast, and stealthy littoral combat ships as part of its new DDX surface combatant family of ships. 2 classes of littoral combat ships, or LCS, were developed, the Freedom class and the Independence class. These new classes of littoral combat ships were supposed to be cost-effective, required a smaller crew, had a high sprint speed, and were capable of handling multiple types of missions, specifically surface warfare, mine countermeasure warfare, and anti-submarine warfare. The first
See the problem, whenever if you're trying to be a strong military power, at the same time, if you're a democratic country, there's going to be friction there, which I always feel like US was struggling with and still is struggling with in a way. See things like this, LCS cost a lot of money, can't justify it to the people, so they have to like scrap it. If this was like something like authoritarian thing or monarchy or something, they don't care about what people think, right? So they would just like keep building or something. Now, if you want to do some very specific thing or whatever thing they were trying to do here, right? Yeah, it's going to cost more in short term. But when war and things does happen, it's going to pay off type of way. But yeah, in a democracy, you can't do that, right? So, even then, like, US spends more money than any other country on the planet, right? So that's just insane. And even, things like this is like too much. And all the money they spend, that's not for war. That's just to get ready, right? So when war comes, like, budget has to be doubled now just to prepare for war. So there's insane amount of money being spent in just military things.
LCS ship USS Freedom was commissioned in 2008, and the LCS drama hasn't stopped since. The LCS class was designed to have a sprint speed of over 47 knots, even though the initial concept mentioned speeds of up to 70 knots. To accomplish this, a new propulsion system was proposed, made up of combined diesel engines and gas turbines that would power 4 steerable water jets. The idea was to use diesel engines for cruising speeds and when needed, engage the gas turbines to achieve high sprinting speeds.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is a big ship, right? For the Navy, it might be small, compact, whatever, but it's a big fucking ship with a big enough crew. 70 knots is a lot. Of course, I mean, imagine if it actually did 70 knots, right? You just see this kind of ship just glide by. I'm pretty sure, knots is somewhat equal to kilometer or something, right? So it would be something close to that. Wait a second, let me check. It's not the same, it's 1.8 times, so it would be like 130 kilometers per hour. a ship at that size, that is insanity.
A complicated combining gear was used to fuse and transmit power from the four separate engines to the ship's water jet propulsion system. But by the end of 2016, 75% of the Freedom-class littoral combat ships had experienced issues with this gear transmission system, and in some cases, the ships had to be towed back to port. In 2021, the Navy called the Freedom LCS propulsion problem a class-wide defect that had to be fixed by the shipbuilder Lockheed Martin. Until such a fix was in place, the Navy limited the use of the two propulsion systems at the
Oh, what do you mean by shipbuilder Lockheed Martin? I get it, Lockheed made it. All Lockheed shipbuilders, I'm pretty sure they would have given contract to somebody to actually make it. They would have designed it or something, right? Lockheed makes a lot of military things, jets and things, great. But our shipbuilding is not just something you do. It's like major construction project. I'm pretty sure they would have given some contractors. What Lockheed has a shipbuilding, department as well. That would be insane.
the same time, which meant Freedom-class ships could only generate a maximum speed of 10 to 15 knots. This was a big blow to the LCS program. A unique feature of the LCS class was its modular design. The ships could be reconfigured for 3 different types of missions by plug and play of a particular mission package that would include the relevant weapon systems, sensors, and mission crews. Swapping the mission packages was envisioned to happen within a few hours, but in practice it took days, not hours, and proved to be logistically difficult to do. In 2016,
we need this thing just now. How fast can you get ready? I don't know, like 3-4 days. I'm pretty sure whatever's happening is gonna stop happening by then.
the US Navy deemed the modular design impractical and announced that they will abandon the modular concept for LCS. Instead, each littoral combat ship would be permanently equipped with a single module. This was a big blow to the LCS program.
I mean, yeah.
But this meant that the ships could still be used with one particular mission package, right? Right? Why don't we look at the mission packages? The surface warfare mission package would provide the fleet protection from small boats and other asymmetrical threats.
Look, if we can only use one, it's no longer a package, is it? It's just like one type of boat now.
It can also be used to provide operational security in interdicting terrorist suspects and pirates and defending against shore attacks while operating in the littorals. This package has proven to work well on the LCS class, and this is probably the only mission package that really demands those top speeds provided by the combined propulsion system. The second package was to support mine countermeasure missions, or MCM. The US Navy's current MCM capabilities are limited to a handful of Avenger-class ships that were commissioned between 1987 and 1994. Littoral combat ships equipped with an MCM package were considered a replacement for the aging fleet of Avenger-class ships. The MCM package was supposed to keep the personnel out of the minefields and instead use a variety of unmanned vehicles to sweep the area. For example, an unmanned surface vessel towing a minesweeper would be sent into the area of interest to mow the lawn and detect threats, while the LCS and its crew would sit at a safe distance. There were also in-water components like the Knifefish unmanned underwater vehicle that could be launched from an LCS ship to then submerge and find mines buried in the area. This was in addition to aviation-based systems that would be launched from the MH-60 Seahawk helicopters housed on the LCS-class ships. Many of these systems are still being tested. The third and final package was the Anti-Submarine Warfare Module, or ASW.
Yeah, the mine and anti-submarine is like the thing that when I heard it, it's like, oh, this is good, because anti-submarine thing is not that many, right? Submarine automatically kind of gives you an edge. Obviously, when you detect it, there's many things you can use against it. But yes, submarines are OP in itself, isn't it? Right? I saw that Federation video about how one guy with a submarine just fucked up the whole fleet, right? I get it was back then, but still, submarines are OP in their own way. They can hide below, right? So submarine hunting in itself is great.
component of the LCS anti-submarine package was a towed variable depth low-frequency active sonar, a capability that the US Navy does not yet have in its fleet. This variable depth sonar could give the Navy more tools to detect the newer, sophisticated Russian submarines. But the variable depth sonar built by Raytheon suffered stability problems while being towed underwater. As a result of its poor performance, in March of 2022, the US Navy announced the termination of the ASW module. This was a big blow this was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I like how it's like, this is the third time. No, okay, this is the last one. But then again, you don't have anything else. So like, until you find something good, shouldn't you just use it rather than discontinue it?
Instead of a fast modular fleet, the Navy ended up with a single-mission ship that had major propulsion failures. The low operational costs that were promised at the inception of the LCS program have also been replaced with expensive maintenance costs due to the gearbox issues, as well as an increase in the crew size. The initial crew size of 40 assigned sailors and officers grew to 70 sailors when the surface fleet decided to permanently assign each LCS with a single mission.
All right, look, man, how does military contract work, right? Someone like Lockheed makes the things on their own cost, right? Like a prototype or something. They show to the defense, defense thing, right? Pentagon, whatever. And they're like, okay, we like this. Let's order like 50 of them or something. I don't know. So when they show the prototype, didn't they show that, okay, speed is not working as it should? Certain things, are modular thing is not going to work because we tested. None of them happened, right? Nobody detected this. Oh, it will do modular. And they're still like, oh, Lockheed says it's going to happen, so it's going to happen. Nobody tested it before buying anything. I feel like, some, under the counter thing happened around this time. Some corruption in there because obviously Lockheed making a prototype would have sunk a lot of money. They realized, oh, wait a minute, this sucks. How to recover money? Let's just pay off certain people who just mistakenly signed some paper, and there you go. Before they realize it, we'll make our money. And Lockheed didn't get any friction from this. Like, oh, your whole ship doesn't work. What the fuck?
Some estimate the annual operating costs of each littoral combat ship to be $70 million, even though the US Navy says it's closer to $50 million. In comparison, operating an Arleigh destroyer costs about $80 million per year. With no ASW mission package and unexpected costs to repair the combining gear problem, Navy officials said it wasn't worth keeping the 9 Freedom-class littoral ships.
Yeah, I think after 50 million people, like 50 million, 500 million, 100 million, there are multiple millions, let's just say. After that, the number is already way too high.
In commission. But 2 questions remain. First, how is the US Navy going to handle the missions that Freedom-class ships were supposed to accomplish? There is still a need for mine countermeasure missions and anti-submarine warfare. And second, why on earth would the Navy decommission all 9 active Freedom-class ships and at the same time continue with the construction of 6 new ships of the same class? Why not just fix the existing 9 ships and stop building the new ones? The decommissioned Freedom-class littoral combat ships are being replaced by the new Constellation-class frigates. Anti-submarine warfare would be a major part of this emerging frigate program, which will be equipped with a towed sonar array which has a proven track record, having been widely used in Royal Navy's Type 23 and Type 26 frigates and a variety of other navies. As for mine countermeasure capabilities, remember, there is still a second class of littoral combat ships, the Independence class. The US Navy will most likely end up installing the MCM package on those ships. As for the second question, there is a way to fix the combining gear problem on the 9 Freedom-class ships that are currently active, but it requires each ship to go into dry dock for several months, and then the ship's hull has to be invasively cut open in order to remove and replace the gears. In contrast, the 6 ships that are still under construction can be more easily fitted with the new combining gear. In addition, the Navy has announced that the 6 new Freedom-class ships that are being built will be fitted with a variation of the surface warfare mission package, which has proven to work well on the existing LCS classes. there were too many ideas and technologies implemented in the LCS classes. And if you recall, this is also what doomed the Zumwalt class.
Unmanned helicopter is so insane, right? Somebody commented, I somehow missed that original video that I watched. Missed that, but just seeing that, this is so good. Look at
classes.
that. Look at that shit. Nobody's in there. It's like remote control. It's a helicopter.
And if you recall, this is also...
Go back to GTA San Andreas days and just use the controller and like control it, right? Video games are going to be a big part of whoever controls these things, right? Oh, helicopter, I can do this. I'll play GTA.
What doomed the Zumwalt class destroyers. But isn't innovation and pushing the boundaries what's needed to get ahead of the game? Or does the US Navy owe a big apology to American taxpayers?
The last one. Both are true, but the last one is more major true. Because no way everything failed like that without them knowing it. No way Lockheed or whoever's Freedom is Lockheed, right? So no way everything failed and they didn't know that, right? Are you kidding me? It's not faster. Everything has a problem there. Modular thing is not working. So all the main points it had, like modularity was a thing, like, okay, we can just change the type of the ship like that. No, you can't. It will take days. Oh, it's gonna go like 130 kilometers per hour, something like whatever, 70 knots or whatever it says. No, it can't. It's like barely 10-15 knots. This is insane. What? Prototype didn't say that? How the fuck did you order that without knowing this? I'm pretty sure, like, like bureaucracy and shit happened in the background and some people got paid off. That's what happened here. Right, well, that was why I retired 2-year-old Warship. I don't know what you think. If you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe. That way you can really help this channel out by helping the algorithm and things. And yeah, if you haven't seen other Know What You Think reaction I did, check out the end card right now. And yeah, that's you next time.